Here's our first topic today. And our first topic today gets submitted into us by Jordon, who writes, "Hey, John. One of my favorite films of 2019 is Knives Out. You and me both, buddy. I think it will be getting a SAG Ensemble nomination. As I look through categories for Oscars, I don't think Knives Out will make the cut, but do you think the Academy should consider an ensemble award in the future? Thanks." All right, and thanks for sending that in, Jordon. And you know, it's funny because somebody actually wrote in that on a live segment that we were doing before about that. Now, I am traditionally, with a lot of topics come up, people say, do you think they should do a motion capture Oscar? Do you think they should do best stuntman Oscar? Do you think they should do this Oscar? And I'm always the guy yucking on the yum. I'm always like, no, you don't do a category for that. You don't do a category for that. And there's reasons for each one that I don't think you can do a category for it. But the one category that I got to admit that I would completely be all for is actually the inclusion of a category for best ensemble. It makes sense, at least to me. One of the main reasons it makes most sense to me is just the fact that SAG does it. I mean, SAG, that's pretty much their top award of the night. That's their big thing. It's best ensemble. It is recognizing, listen, acting is not just about, and I'll let Erin, the real actress in the room, comment on this, but as somebody who watches acting, to me, it's not just about an actor going on stage solo with a single spotlight and being able to give whatever performance. It's about a group of actors being able to create a chemistry and a dynamic on screen or on stage together in such a way that helps really push the narrative along and makes it an entertaining experience for the audience member. And that becomes a team effort. And there are a lot of movies, like one of my favorite comedies of all time, other than 40-Year-Old Virgin, my favorite comedy of all time is Noises Off, with one of the best ensemble casts ever assembled on the big screen. You're talking about Carol Burnett, John Ritter, Christopher Reeve, on and on and on and on. Just this incredible cast. And Michael Caine was in there too. It's not just that they gave individual Oscar performances, is that they created this chemistry on screen together that was just palatable that very rarely you can see. And I think that's a special thing. And I think when you have the Screen Actors Guild, the acting body saying, this is a significant thing, well, I think the Oscars have to look at that too. And it's not just some side category at the SAGs either. It's a real important award that they give out. And I think there's something to that. The second reason why I think they really should look at doing something like this just falls back kind of to what I was saying already. I believe there is a difference between individual actors giving some great performances versus a group of actors being able to really create something special together. And I think it's a different thing. And one needs to be celebrated, absolutely. But I think there's a call here and a need to celebrate the other as well, because the chemistry of an ensemble can make or break a movie, in my opinion. Not to mention, other than maybe the Ryan Reynolds movie Buried, every movie has an ensemble to one degree or another. So it's not like, you know, motion capture where, well, out of the 500 films this year, only 7 of them had motion capture. You know, every film has an ensemble, unless it's a solo film. So there's a big pool to draw from. I think it's vital to the entertainment of the movie. The Screen Actors Guild themselves support it. I think it's time for the Academy Awards to recognize and have a best ensemble category. But there's only one real actor in the room here, so let me throw it over to them. Robert. No, Erin, as a SAG member yourself, what do you think?
For 20 years now.
For 20 years now, really? You know, the SAG has recognized this. Is it time, or is there something unique about the Oscars that maybe it's not a good category for the Oscars? How do you see it?
You know what? I love everything you're saying, and I hear you. I have to disagree, though.
Really?
I know. It's completely shocking that as an actor, I wouldn't want more awards for actors. But but here's the reason why. I do think that the fact that the Best Ensemble Award is sort of the penultimate award that you can win when you're at the SAG Awards. And I've been to some of the SAG after parties, and you see the collective joy that the cast. I remember I was there when the cast of Boardwalk Empire won their SAG Award for Best Ensemble, and there was that collective enthusiasm and joy, and everyone was celebrating together. And I think it's one of the things that sets the SAG Awards apart and keeps it as something that is really special and isn't just like, oh yeah, it's just another award show. It has its own place amongst actors. And there is something about the Academy Awards, like when you are Oscar winner so-and-so, Academy Award nominee so-and-so, there is something also really special about that, because every actor in Hollywood hasn't been nominated for one, hasn't won one as part of a collective, as part of a group. What I would encourage instead, which goes along with exactly what you're saying, is that they incorporate a Best Casting Academy Award. Because really, when you think about the fact that it's an ensemble that makes the movie what it is, where does that ensemble come from? It comes from a casting director actually being able to say, okay, well, we've got Scarlett Johansson or whoever attached to this movie. Well, who are we going to put around Scarlett? Who are we going to add in as the additional characters that are really going to make this a full round, rich project? And that's really where a smart casting director comes in. You have Rich D'Elia, for example, who trolled the entire, not trolled, but, went traveled around the entire country looking for the kids for It 1 and 2. Most of those kids have never acted before, and now they all are pursuing movie careers. You look at Aisha Cooley, who cast Jarrell Jerome in When They See Us, who, yes, he had worked, but to be in that role, which he then later won an Emmy for, that was a massive, that was something for her to see that really rounded out that cast. So I would say, instead of Best Ensemble and more awards for actors, let's bring a casting director into the mix and let casting directors win an Academy Award for the work that they do so well. And no, that's not me pandering. I legitimately feel that way.
You know what? I got to say, the one point you raised there that I really do agree with is that one of the pitfalls of having the category at the Oscars is you're going to be, it's like NBA champions, right? Because guess what, folks? Luke Walton is a 3-time NBA champion. He was not the reason they won the NBA title. So you may get actors running around who have no business calling themselves Academy Award winners.
Right.
And maybe it devalues that a bit. Okay, I still believe they should do it, but I think you're right. I think that is one of the pitfalls. Rob, as somebody who's worked as director, and you've worked with casting and stuff like that, do you think they should do an ensemble award at the Oscars?
And also, as an editor who has had to cut a lot of the people out of the movies when they are detracting from the ensemble,
I have to say I am in 100% agreement with Erin. I think everything she said. When you think about how a movie is made, one of the things, like when I'm working on a project, I never think about who's going to be in it when I'm reading it, other than who I need to get to sell the movie or to get it made. Some of the most valuable people on any film project or TV are the casting people. I work with a woman named Linda Francis, who she's passed away, but she helped cast Swingers. Some of the greatest decisions I've ever seen in movies come from casting. One of my very dear friends, I call her my professional wife in the business, Christine Sheeks. She cast Boogie Nights. I think it's a job. It's also an above the line job. It's in the opening credits of many, many movies, and it goes completely unrecognized at the Oscars. And the thing about casting directors is that it's their job to think out of the box. It's their job to bring you actors that you might never have heard of before, that you can put in place and suddenly break them. I found Eric McCormack, who went on to be in Will and Grace, was the first person I cast in my own movie, Free Enterprise. I'd never heard of him. My casting director, she said, the first person we need to look at is this guy, Eric McCormack. Good Canadian kid, John. Came from Stratford. I'm like, who's Eric McCormack? I don't know. First actor I saw, walked in the room, blew me away, gave him the job. If I didn't have a casting director who knew this, and casting directors, they go to plays, they go to workshops, they know people that you don't know, that you've never heard of, and they've got a wide breadth of knowledge that they can make or break, especially an independent movie. If you're an up-and-coming filmmaker, find yourself a great casting person and stick to them like glue if you work well together.
Well, I'll tell you what. You've changed my mind. You've convinced me. Because I think what you guys have come up with is a great solution here. You do a casting because the casting recognizes the ensemble and what's done there. You made me change sides. Well done, guys.
Great!
You convinced
Wow,
me.
that never happened.
You convinced me. Your arguments are sound, and I think it does fulfill what I wanted fulfilled, that it is a recognition of the collective chemistry talent, but that comes from the casting director put together, and it gives the award to one or a team of people. You convinced me.
But
Plus,
if you're also part of that ensemble, even though you are not the Academy Award winner yourself, I know that if I was in an ensemble that was cast by Rich D'Elia, for example, I would feel the pride of, I was a part of that. There's still a celebration that I think actors can take part in, and their pictures will be up there. They'll get the recognition. But it needs to go to the casting director for doing all that work.
If I could throw out one more thing, too, once the actors are put together in this ensemble and they gel and they create these indelible characters, that becomes an acting issue. That's not how they got there in the first place, even though that was part of it. But it's when they gel together to make them that great ensemble. It's all about their ability as actors, which is why I think it's cool that SAG, which is the Screen Actors Guild, is honoring the actual acting itself.
Well, all right, guys. Well, the question is, what do you think about that? Are you on the side that I was originally on, saying, yes, there should be an ensemble? Or are you on the side that Rob and Aaron so beautifully laid out there, that, no, let's do a casting thing for that as well? What do you guys think about that? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.